And what do you think? Do you think larger corporations are going to have, we'll call them satellite offices, or just areas in all these different co-working spaces, maybe for their local employees to be able to work out of instead of having a headquarter in a city?
Yeah, with the caveat that, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, right? I don't have the crystal ball. And I think we all suffer from recency bias where we think, well, we've been living like this for the last 3 or 6 months. This is going to be the way we live for the next 36 years. And it's clearly not going to be the case. In terms of office usage, um, from a corporate level, I think it'll be similar to 9/11 in 2008, where people realize, okay, offices or leases are probably one of my higher fixed costs, and maybe I can operate on a leaner basis with removing some of that higher fixed cost. And so I could see a hub and spoke model make a lot of sense for a lot of these big corporate user profiles where maybe the mothership is still in New York or San Francisco, but they have secondary support officers spread across 10 different marketplaces, places like Nashville, Denver, et cetera, depending on regionally, because it's just going to be a more efficient, use of capital for a lot of these employers. So I could certainly see that happening. And frankly, you know, if the employee base wants to live in a leafy suburb, you want to accommodate them, because even though we are in a very difficult time in terms of the economy, obtaining and retaining human capital is still going to be the biggest challenge facing these employers. And so you're going to want to make your employee base, happy. And if they've realized they don't need to commute 3 hours a day to get into the city to be productive, you're going to accommodate them. So that's where I think, if you look at the actual statements that Facebook and Twitter and some of these other groups are saying, it's not work from home forever, it's work remotely. So it's a shift into that hub and spoke model. And I think that's where you're going to see the trend continue to go.
It's going to be interesting looking back in 5 years, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, with the caveat that I certainly don't know, but this is kind of our investment thesis playing out in front of us. And a lot of this, frankly, is just COVID exacerbating or accelerating trends that were already taking place over the last 3 to 5 years.